Hey YouTube, today I'm going to do a video about cooking in a post-collapse environment. When the grid goes down, chances are you're not going to have electricity or gas to cook with, so you're going to need to think about other alternatives. The first thing I want to show you is a solar cooker that I made. These are the plans that I got off the internet. I like this one, but basically this is an adapted version of that one that's much easier to make because all of the cuts are square. What I made it out of was just like a sheet of aluminum that I got from a scrap metal place, and it cost less than $1. I believe that it was used in printing of advertisements. It's really simple. You can make it in about half an hour. There's plenty of places that you can research online to get the plans. I just scored it with a utility knife. I increased the size of the plan to fit the dimensions of the sheet. Here, I'll show you how to fold it up. Okay, so here it is. All you need to do is point it in the direction of the sun, and throughout the day you turn it. Okay, I'm going to put my pot in the middle here. All this is an old pressure cooker that I put a screw in the top to hold all the heat in. You can see I got some chicken in there. It's even it was frozen. You can also put a plastic bag around it, and that will help, but if it's hot, it's really not necessary. I believe this is a very good design because of its inexpensiveness and ease of making it. It's also extremely compact. You could easily put it in your bug out bag. It's also a very healthy way of cooking, since it cooks so slowly, and if you're cooking in a pressure cooker, you're not going to lose any of the nutrients, which could be very important if you have limited food supplies. It also doesn't create any smoke or smell if you're trying to cook without anybody knowing about it. Okay, YouTube, the second thing I want to show you is this rocket stove that I made. It's a really good, useful tool for cooking. All it is this is an old 55-gallon drum, and then I have a concrete drain pipe that goes in there, and then there's a 90, and it comes back up here. On top, I put some concrete, and then inside of it is the red stone that you use for landscaping. It's a volcanic stone, and that will insulate it. You can also wrap a copper pipe on the inside here and attach it to a water heater and use that to heat your water. Or some people even design these to heat their houses. It's very, very powerful, very efficient. Once you get it started, it basically produces no smoke, which is very healthy, much healthier for you to cook on than on a normal wood fire. And it's also much more efficient. You can cook basically with some scraps. You can even use garbage or alcohol, gasoline, anything you could basically find. This thing will cook, and it will cook it very efficiently. Inside here is a pipe that I crushed, and I drilled a bunch of holes for ventilation. You just put that in there, then you put your fuel here, and then you put something here to start it. Okay, got it going now. I think you can see how well that's working. This. You can probably hear it. So you can actually hear it sucking in the air. Okay. The stove actually gets hot enough to melt metal. I actually made a knife in here, and it was hot enough to temper it and anneal it. So I put that pot on there. I got it resting on top of some pieces of metal. You need to keep it away a little bit. What I'm cooking here is just a rooster. My dogs killed a rooster yesterday. I just put it in their hole. I'm gonna feed it to them later. So I'll come back in a little while and show you how it's going. Alright YouTube, so the cooking's going along real nice. You can see how well that's cooking, how hot it is. You can see that there's basically no emissions. You can see how easy that is. All you need to do is every once in a while you just come and push the sticks in a little more. You don't want to let it die down because then it'll start smoking again. You have to maintain it. But pretty much you can cook an entire meal with the same amount of wood that you'd use to start a regular fire. I highly recommend this this way of cooking because once things collapse, if there's no electricity or gas, wood's going to become very scarce. I don't think it would take very long in a city for the wood to disappear, and I think you can look in history at collapse situations and you'll find that to be true. You can see how hot and how efficiently that's burning. The longer you use it, actually the better it starts to work. The more of the gases that it'll burn off because the insulation inside will get hotter and hotter. It's kind of like a car, like a catalytic converter. The hotter that it is, the better that it works. Well, our chicken's been cooking in the sun for about 4 hours. I'm going to open up and see what happens. Looks good. It's obviously a very effective cooker. I highly recommend it. And obviously you need to put it out in the peak hours of sun or on a sunny day. That's its only limitation, that it won't work in colder climates or when it's overcast. But other than that, I would say it's a very efficient, effective cooker. And I hope you try it out. Thanks. Alright, so you can see it's all done now. It's you can see it's not emitting any kind of smoke at all. It's just heat that you see. It's cooking real nice. It's been in there for about 45 minutes. I'm just going to leave it for about another hour with the wood that's in there. I'm not going to put any more in. It's going to stay really hot for that time. As you can see, it's a really efficient and practical way to cook, and I'd appreciate any feedback that you can give me on ways that I can improve this design. Thanks.